Lesson Sharp 19 The Theory of Ancestral Line Energy. The ancestry line is a part of the biosphere, a small brother of the biosphere. It is difficult to find a person who has not heard about the ancestral line and its energy. The energy of the ancestral line is discussed in all energy practices and esoteric forums, offering listeners their own interpretations and ways of interacting with this energy. Previously, it was assumed that the ancestral line is a powerful egregor, stretched over time for many generations. In fact, this is not the case. Ancestral line is out of time, generations of people succeed each other, and each person carries the energy of its own ancestral line. Even distant relatives have approximately the same genetics, so diseases, behavior scenarios, and other life problems can be very similar. The energy of the ancestral line cannot be used to increase its own strength, but it is possible in the case of ancestral curses. Turning to the energy of the ancestral line, we imagine that everyone who lived before is standing behind us, and those who will live later are standing in front of us. Representing such a large line of people and somewhere in the center of themselves, we represent just the energy of the ancestral line in time. Because all those who have lived before and all those who will live after carry a part of the energy of the ancestral line, and we can use it. However, it is necessary to work with the energy of the ancestral line very carefully, because this energy is semi-intelligent and interested in living as long as possible so that the line does not die up. If a person uses the energy of the ancestral line once or twice, he gradually begins to drag on the problems of all other relatives, up to the seventh water on jelly. And all the relatives begin to turn to him to solve their problem. The fact is that information is contained in the energy of ancestral line. If a person turns to the energy of the ancestral line, this information flows to him. And since the main goal of the ancestral line is not to be interrupted, this person will be concerned with the implementation of this goal, removing all obstacles and problems, so that everyone is alive and well and with money. Many ethnic groups and nationalities have an elder of the family. As a rule, it is the elder who is asked for advice. You cannot contradict him, you cannot argue with his opinion, and if the elder advised something, you must do everything as he said. It is believed that the elder is more knowledgeable and knows what to do. In fact, an elder is a person to whom the ancestral line gave power. It happens that a person himself begins to use the power of the ancestral line. For example, among the same ethnic groups, it is customary to listen to the opinion of their elders, thus people themselves give a person the right to appeal to the energy of the ancestral line, putting him at the head of all relatives. Or a person practices the science of inner strength, and then, under his guidance, other relatives join the practice. If the energy of the ancestral line is used for other purposes that are not related to the main purpose of the existence of the line, then the energy is initially wasted, and then completely departs from the person. For example, he connects the energy of the ancestral line to the money egregor. The money egregor itself drains the energy of the ancestral line, pulling it on itself. The energy of the entire ancestral line begins to quickly dry up, after which it is completely detached from the person who connected it to the egregor, and can expel a person from the ancestral line. A person abruptly and suddenly stops communicating with relatives. In the event that a curse is imposed on the ancestral line, which threatens to destroy it, a person can use the power of the ancestral line in order to remove the damage. For example, when they take the second dantian, pull it out on energy level, turn it over, and then put it back, the person gets a structure, as if he has two backs. When a person has the second dantian upside down, he has no attachments, and he experiences emotions in a slightly different way. If there are no attachments, there is no family. If a person intelligently understands that a family is needed, then he will create it, but he will not have feelings for a partner. People may be attached to such a person, but he himself will not. This curse is transmitted through the lineage and is done to interrupt it, so that the entire ancestral line disappears. So as to solve the problem, you can use the energy of line. If the first dantian is turned upside down, then after the first or second generation, the ancestral line fades away. With such a curse for 10-15 years, all relatives die for various reasons, because the first dantian does not produce energy well. However, not every black magician can make such a curse. There are a great many ancestral curses. The curse may not affect all relatives, but may be passed on only to women, or only to boys, or only to certain individuals. Quite often such curses are disguised as genetic diseases. When viewing ancestral line energy, practitioners see, in addition to the luminous horizontal column, the energy of the ancestral line, a dark line of energy located either on the side or below the ancestral line. This dark energy, stretched out in time, as if beats individual members of the ancestral line, both in the past and in the future. Such curses can also be removed by using the power of the ancestral line. The power of the ancestral line is always shown in the elder who has become the head of the line by seniority. If a person becomes the most important in the ancestral line because of the death of all the older relatives, he will have the power of the ancestral line, and it will want him to solve all the problems of the ancestral line. Sometimes it happens that a very strong energetic person is born in the ancestral line. In this case, he can also manifest the strength of the line. To such a person, other relatives intuitively go for advice and try to listen to his opinion, look at his actions and take an example from him. People energetically feel that such a person has much more energy of the ancestral line. Ancestral line energy is a very strong energy, and the consequences of ill-considered handling of it may be quite different from what we imagine. You can only use this energy of ancestral line in the cases described above. For our own purposes and tasks, it is better to use the energy of the Earth's ionosphere and space objects that we work with in planetary practice. These high-frequency energies are the energies of all mankind. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. All have a good mood and bye.